What's up, Ravens fans? The draft is just a day away. Finally, it is here. Lots of questions still coming into the Ravens mailbag, so that's where we're going to start this week. The first question today is from Colby Martin. Colby wants to know, do the Ravens trade back into the second round? And if that happens, who do we get?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a possibility that the Ravens could trade back into the second round. I mean, it could be the end of the first round, but they want to move back. And when you're at 22, there ain't a whole lot of room back there. So certainly, I think they could go into the beginning of the second round. I wouldn't expect a huge jump into the middle. Now, who could they get? I think this is a prime territory for a wide receiver. I think you're looking at maybe it's an A.J. Brown out of Ole Miss, a Deebo Samuel out of South Carolina, N'Keal Harry from Arizona State. These guys that we've talked about a zillion times, all these guys that everybody's been looking about. I think that there's less chance that a lot of wide receivers go in the first round. In fact, there might only be one, maybe two, DK Metcalf, Marquise Brown. I think a lot of these guys, there's going to be a run early in the second round. I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens moved into that area and plucked the guy that they want most. If it's not a wide receiver, I'll go an offensive lineman, Dalton Risner from Kansas State.
Getting specific on it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that guy.
How about this follow-up question? Do you think it's more likely that the Ravens end up with the second-round pick either by trading back or by moving up into the second round, or they don't pick in the second round? Because I feel like at some point they're going to have a second-round pick.
It's a great question. I bet that it's more likely that they move back in the first round. That gets them another third, fourth-round pick. They package that in a deal to move back up into the middle to late second round.
I agree with you. All right, let's keep it moving. This question comes from Eddie Hernandez, and Eddie wants to know, is it still possible that we're going to draft a running back, even though we have already added Mark Ingram, also have Gus Edwards, and Kenneth Dixon? Well, you know what? I do think it's still possible for the Ravens to draft a running back. I would expect that to happen at some point. You know, it's funny. Early on in this process, Josh Jacobs from Alabama was a popular pick to the Ravens at 22. Then they went and added Mark Ingram, and that has kind of quieted down. I don't think that's off the table. If they're sitting there at 22, here's the thing about trades. You have to have a trade partner. So if nobody calls the Ravens that is willing to move up and get that pick, they may be sitting there at 22 and have to draft somebody.
Yep.
Josh Jacobs may be the top player on their board at that point, and they say, you know what? We just want to have the best running game in the NFL. Go all in that direction. I think that could absolutely still happen. Yeah. And if they don't take Jacobs in the first round, when you're getting into those mid to late round options, there could be some really good running backs. I mean, Gus Edwards was an undrafted guy last year who obviously came in and had a really good season. So there's some good running backs that you'll be able to get late in the draft if they decide to wait.
It's a pretty deep group at running back this year. So our last question comes from Bryce Peterson, and the question is, what linebackers or edge players in the later rounds of the draft will be ideal fits for our defense? Well, I like one guy kind of in the mid to late, well, probably more mid. That's O'Shane Ximenez out of Old Dominion. Small school guy. The Ravens have had a lot of success with small school players. You know Matthew Judon?
Yes.
Ram Valley State led the nation in sacks. Ximenez also has not that great of production, but really good production at a small school level. The Ravens like guys who have proven that they can get to the cornerback, guys who finish. That's him. Went to the Senior Bowl. It wasn't the strongest outing, but I think that he still showed that he certainly has potential as a developmental kind of mid-round pass rusher that could add something to the Ravens. Maybe it's not an immediate huge impact right away, but look at Zadarius Smith. He was a fourth-round pick who eventually got a huge contract from the Packers. Some of these guys, you can get good value at pass rusher in the middle rounds that develop for you.
Look, it's going to be fun these next couple of days. Lots of exciting stuff happening. Don't go anywhere. Make sure that you keep it here. And as always, make sure you send in those questions every single week using the hashtag RavensMailbag. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.